Dear Antifa, you are worthless piles of human garbage. You are fascists, and the mere fact we're unable to see how that is the case still baffles me. But let us dive headfirst onto the pavement that is Black Bloc in a vain attempt to numb the pain of these cunts pretending like they're not contradicting themselves around every fucking corner. Antifa, or anti-fascists, are anything but anti-fascists. In fact, they take on much the same appearance and persona of black shirts from Italy. In other words, they are fucking fascists. But, alas, I have said this before. However, let me rip a new gaping hole in their collective assholes because, quite frankly, these little delicate college snowflakes don't realize how much of a fucking terrorist group they are. But alas, they'll continue their idiocy without the self-awareness to realize how fucking stupid they are and how much they are universally hated. The regime isn't illegitimate, you fucking turbotards. Trump won via electoral votes, and he may have won the popular vote as well. Difficult to tell with all the fraud that was going on. But that aside, he is your president. Get the fuck over it. Not saying you have to like him, but just accept the fact, like a fucking adult would. This isn't your college campus. There isn't a blanket for you to cuddle up to in a cheap attempt to cope with the fact that just maybe the rest of the country doesn't fucking think the same way as you. And here's another little note for you to tuck away with a safety pin, you incredulous little shit stains. We don't care. You're so upset and bothered by a so-called Muslim ban that isn't a fucking ban, and criminals that cross the border illegally living in fear. You're so fundamentally wrong that people from every other end of the spectrum dislikes you. In fact, they are disgusted by you. Yet you have the gall, the balls, the cojones to tell us we're all Nazis because we don't fall in line with your viewpoints, with the way you see the world. Let's get something straight here, you fucking cunts. You're not revolutionaries. You're atavistic zombies with dysentery, spewing the same old shit said by fascists before while pretending you have some form of high ground that isn't paved in utter horseshit and ignorance. Trying to say that women are objectified, etc., under a new quote-unquote Christian fascism while entirely ignoring the sins of Islam. You dickless waste of semen need to start really thinking about the shit you hold to such grandeur. Maybe, and here's a fucking novel idea, you speak to someone that left Islam, that left communism. They will explain why the ideologies are so bad. But no, that would shake apart the battlements of these false ideals that you and the rest of your ilk happen to be standing on and leave nothing behind but a figurative pile of shit that was your old way of thinking when it finally rattles apart because you aren't able to fucking substantiate your arguments anymore. Not that you could to fucking begin with, but best to avoid and deny and go after, quote, fascists, unquote. And another fallacy you cunts have is the whole issue with the bombings. A fallacy, hypocrisy, and utter fucking stupidity. And it also applies to war and intervention from the U.S. in general. When Obama was doing it, you assholes were nowhere to be fucking found. But now, all of a sudden, you have a fucking issue? Are you a special kind of fucking special? Like the special kind of special that sits in the back of the bus and drools on the fucking windows. Fuck, if Hillary were president and started a war, you jackwagons would probably be celebrating in the streets as the fucking bombs fell and you turned into nothing but fucking salt. And this is why most view the bipartisanship of the country with such a heavy amount of disdain, because it causes people to overlook one side's issues simply because they work for the, quote, right side, unquote. But let's push that out of the way, because we all know that full well that Antifa does not in any way, shape, or form portray the beliefs or the actions or the thought processes of people that are on the more, let's say, center left or reasonable left. But let's not stop there. Antifa doesn't even manage to maintain a single iota of self-awareness, claiming that, and this is good, the truth is being bludgeoned. Are you fucking kidding me? You fucking assholes are the one doing the fucking bludgeoning. Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to beat this quote-unquote Nazi into not thinking that, everybody that thinks like me is a fucking cunt. That's a novel fucking idea, you fucking turbotard. Which is an odd choice of words. Bludgeoning, which is an odd choice of words for a group that is infamous for being fucking violent. And of course, they are also well known for their actions at Berkeley. and other free speech rallies, or other places where right-wing people have gone to speak, literally being the thing that is preventing the public discourse in education. You fucking morons. Get a mirror, look at it. Trust me, if you have any iota and semblance of cognitive dissonance, you'll be like, maybe, just maybe, I'm the cunt. They're not joking when they say shit like this, though. That's the funny part. Which begs the question if they have ever once looked into a fucking mirror to begin with. As for the environmental side of it, they slipped up. It's not called global warming anymore. It's called climate change, A. And B, there's a big fucking B, there's nothing wrong with questioning a scientific hypothesis. That's part of the scientific fucking method. But as we all know, you fucking cunts don't like science all that well. But that aside, who am I kidding? I shouldn't expect much in the way of abstract thinking from a bunch of lemmings that just repeat each other because they're either too stupid or too unoriginal and myopic to look outside of their safe space to realize how they're not only wrong, but completely and totally, utterly fucking hated. And this brings me to another point of disdain with these people, is that if they actually were to be pulled outside of that on an individual basis and outside of that echo chamber and had to sit down in a conversation with somebody that is relatively mild-mannered and is willing to deal with their absolute, child's way of thinking, they probably would have their opinions swayed. But let's face it, you and I both know that's not going to fucking happen. But let's continue this carnival of stupidity, shall we? And in this next section, we see once again they lack self-awareness. Antifa, you are the fucking fascist thugs, by literal definition. But no, you think it was all the Donald. Now, you can make a suggestion that white nationalists have become more brazen because of Trump. That I might give you a little bit of leeway on. But he sure as fuck didn't foster them. Here's a newsflash for you, Antifa, and identitarians on the left, as it were. It was you fucking assholes that did. And you have been warned for years about this kind of shit. You played with the cobra of identity politics, and now it's biting you in the fucking ass. And instead of taking a little bit of responsibility, you do what any good little Marxist baby would do. You point fingers at an outlier, someone not even in the same fucking county as your dumbasses, because you can't be fucked to self-reflect and be like, maybe demonizing a whole group of people helped to radicalize these people that would have more or less stayed relatively moderate. Now, to answer the question you fucking hockey pucks left at the end, I know exactly how to end all of this unrelenting horror that you're talking about. Stop being a fucking identitarian. Think for yourself and take fucking responsibility. Or we could just, take the alt-left and the alt-right and throw them all on an island and let the atavists destroy themselves. And to be fair, the second option is probably far more likely to actually happen. But with this, I feel like I have ranted on long enough and I've gone through all the points that I could possibly think to cover. So, at the end of the day, a PSA for the world, and Antifa especially. This November the 4th thing, all you're doing is giving the alt-right more ammo, and you're giving the rest of the country even more and more reason to fucking hate you. So, here's a little PSA for you, a little word of wisdom. Don't be a fucking cunt. Now, I'm done with this, and I need to calm down because I'm legitimately angry. But this is outside of my usual schedule, so I will try to have a reaction or response video, whichever you prefer to call it, tomorrow, and then back to Thursday as my regular schedule was. It was just I came across this website again because I had seen it before, but it's just as November the 4th looms ever closer, I feel like I needed to say something, and the rest of the world needs to be, and not even the rest of the world, the rest of the United States needs to be exposed to exactly how dumb, how hypocritical, and how fundamentally wrong and violent these assholes are. Now, with that being said, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and or night, and I will see you glorious cunts, well, hopefully tomorrow. Peace.